Have you ever been in a moment where nobody knew what to do, and suddenly everyone was looking at you? No playbook, no instructions, no template, just pressure. Think about the most difficult moments you faced. How did you respond? What guided your response? Because in those moments, people aren't looking for panic, indecision, or excuses. They're looking for a steady hand, a calm presence, an unbreakable leader. So what is unbreakable leadership? It's about the character you build long before the pressure arrives. Principles you live by and lean on during the toughest of times. You see these apply in big moments during championship games on the field, in high-stakes business decisions, and in everyday life. Some of the most powerful examples of leadership I've ever seen happen quietly, without authority, recognition, or applause. They appear when nobody is watching. Imagine waking up every day in chronic pain from a life-altering injury. Maybe some of you are in this situation, and you still show up, you honor your commitments, you go to work, you serve others, you lead. Why? Because people are counting on you. Your family, your teammates, your students, your community. Unbreakable leadership doesn't begin with a title. It begins with a mindset. And over the years, through observation and personal experiences, I've found that this mindset is guided by 6 principles: vision, belief, action, trust, communication, and resilience. 6 principles that carry leaders through moments that would break most people. In order to thrive, everything starts with vision. Vision is your purpose, your why. It's your compass when your path is unclear. Without vision, pressure creates panic. With vision, pressure creates focus. Steve Jobs understood this. His vision wasn't just to build computers. It was to create technology centered on the customer experience. And when he was fired from Apple in 1985, that vision didn't disappear. And when he returned in 1997, with Apple on the brink of bankruptcy, that same vision carried the company to one of the greatest turnarounds in business history. Vision doesn't prevent adversity, it anchors you through it. But vision alone isn't enough. You also need belief. Belief is that quiet confidence. It's being proud of who you are, where you come from, and what you stand for. Before you could lead others, you have to believe in yourself, even when nobody else does. This isn't theoretical for me. At 22 years old, I took a chance. I made a decision to leave the Chicago area and move to San Diego in search of opportunity, growth, and a bigger vision for my life. I had a junky car. It definitely was breakable. $400 in my pocket, and a life-altering injury. No guarantees, no financial safety net. For the first few weeks, I slept in my car. I was dealing with constant pain from the injury, and I took whatever work I can find, including a minimum wage job working overnight shifts for a security company. I remained persistent, took on a second job, later a third. There were moments when I questioned my decision. But I kept my vision in mind, which was to one day make an impact in the sports industry. Uncertainty was a constant, but I continued to believe. Not belief that everything would magically work out, but that I would figure it out. Quitting wasn't an option. I didn't fear failure, and I bet on myself, knowing that every no would bring me closer to a yes. And that belief changed the course of my life. Now, although vision and belief are very important, they mean nothing without action. In chaotic moments, leaders don't wait for the perfect conditions. They don't outsource responsibility, they act intentionally. In 2022, during an Olympic qualifying event, swimmer Anita Alvarez lost consciousness mid-routine and sank to the bottom of the pool. Her coach, Andrea Fuentes, didn't hesitate. She jumped in the water, fully dressed, and pulled her athlete to safety. She acted when hesitation would have been easier. And being proactive also applies to how we pursue our individual and team goals. If we want to be excellent in anything, we have to be willing to make the sacrifices. The world doesn't meet anyone halfway. If we want something in life, we have to take action in order to make things happen. Now, action increases credibility, which is important in building trust. But people don't follow titles, they follow leaders. And leaders gain trust by building relationships with those that they are responsible for and by holding things together when the pressure hits. Having spent years in sports and education, as an athlete, coach, professor, industry professional, and consultant, I've seen just how much pressure matters, whether in locker rooms, classrooms, staff rooms, or boardrooms. Take the 2014 World Cup, for example. Germany didn't win because of one flashy play or a series of superstar players. They won because they trusted one another. They trusted the pass would be there. They trusted that everyone would do their job and deliver when it mattered most. Ego was put aside for the welfare of the group. And this extends to front offices of sport organizations where trust is pivotal in building strong cultures and fielding competitive teams. You might be familiar with Sam Presti, the current general manager of the Oklahoma City Thunder. He took over a franchise in transition and has since rebuilt and retooled his rosters multiple times. Along the way, superstars left, expectations changed, but through it all, he built a culture centered on trust and respect. He didn't panic looking for quick fixes. He set a vision for the organization, he instilled belief, and he got others to buy in. But trust isn't built on performance alone. It's earned and developed by how we treat people, with dignity, with respect, making others feel valued no matter where they sit on that organizational chart. As legendary coach John Wooden once said, "Nobody cares what you know unless they know you care." When trust is strong, chaos becomes more of a test than a breaking point. Communication is a building block for establishing trust. And effective communication entails much more than just words. Have you been in a conversation with someone lately who could not wait for you to finish talking so that they can speak? Effective communication is listening and being receptive to advice. It's paying attention to body language, facial expressions, and voice tone. In many cases, it's not what we say, but how we say it that makes all the difference, right? From a leadership standpoint, effective communication requires emotional intelligence, cultural competence, empathy, attentiveness, and understanding. On an individual level, it's forcing yourself to get out of your comfort zone and meet people from all walks of life. Becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable. When I moved to San Diego, facing financial hardship, dealing with, a serious injury, working those overnight shifts, belief kept me going, but communication made things happen. I had to communicate in order for my goals and vision to ever become a reality. I had to ask questions, seek mentorship, build relationships, be resourceful. From that experience, I learned something crucial. Leaders we aspire to be, the ones that inspire and move teams forward, communicate clearly. They explain where we're going, why it matters, and how each person matters in it. In chaotic situations that can make or break teams and people, communication ensures that everyone understands, aligns, and moves together as a team. But even with vision, belief, action, trust, and communication, leadership's tested over and over again. That's where resilience comes in. Resilience isn't just bouncing back. It's refusing to break. And some of the most powerful examples of resilience do come from sports. In the 1997 NBA Finals, Michael Jordan battled through illness in Game 5 against the Utah Jazz, big road game. Sick, dehydrated, and fatigued, he continued to play. Not because it was comfortable, but because his team needed him. He felt a sense of responsibility to his teammates, coaches, fans, and the city of Chicago, my hometown. In the 2004 American League Championship Series, the Boston Red Sox found themselves down 3-0 and were losing 4-3 in the ninth inning, coming to the plate. History said it was over. Then a walk, a pinch runner, a stolen base, a timely hit, and ultimately a walk-off home run in the 12th inning sealed their first victory, their first of 4 straight, making history. And in Super Bowl 51, the New England Patriots were trailing 28-3 late in the third quarter. I think most fans and media thought this game is over. They didn't panic. One play at a time, one possession at a time, they fought their way back to the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history. That's resilience. It's having poise when everything is on the line, fighting to the finish, making your big comeback. Resilience is the final piece in what makes an unbreakable leader. And these 6 principles apply across various domains, not just in sports, but wherever pressure exists. And pressure exists everywhere. Sometimes it's a nurse making a split-second decision in the emergency room. Other times it could be a firefighter running towards danger while others evacuate. Or a steel worker remaining composed as equipment fails and lives are at risk. When we look at leadership, we can read tons of books on leadership, which there are tons of them out there, right? We can attend seminars, earn certificates. But leadership is lived, and it's not learned only from a textbook. Have you ever been in a moment where everybody's looking at you? And many of you will be in that moment, whether, the pressure arrives or not. Leaders prepare, commit, and they rise. And they find a way. Thank you.